PlayStation 3 is slowly slipping into a well-deserved quiet sleep, as its successor, PlayStation 4, takes off. But the beauty of the PS3, like many consoles before it, is how amazingly robust its catalog is. Since its launch in 2006, PlayStation 3 has built up an incredible library of games, and IGN's PlayStation experts have narrowed the long list down to the top 25. Here they are. The Rayman resurgence of recent years has led to not one, but two awesome Rayman games. Origins is rad in its own right, of course, but Legends takes the cake as the better game. With beautiful graphics, gripping gameplay, and a ton to do, Rayman Legends is a testament to the staying power of the platformer, and a vivid illustration of how far the genre has come. Survival horror has largely lost its edge, which is why quality offerings like Dead Space pop out front and center. While many survival horror games these days opt for endless action, Dead Space is true survival horror, with slow, methodical moments, plenty of scares, and an incredible atmosphere. The fact that Dead Space happens in, you guessed it, space, makes it all the scarier. The Unfinished Swan was crafted by a team called Giant Sparrow, a small group of developers overtly and obviously influenced by that game company's approach. The result is staggering, for The Unfinished Swan is as much an experience as it is a game, a short yet thoughtful foray into a storybook world. You've never played anything like it. Player choice is all the rage in games today, and Heavy Rain might have handled the trend in the most artful way of all, by giving players an endless array of decisions to make with meaningful and lasting consequences. In a game that revolves around a father and his missing son, Heavy Rain is a decidedly different kind of game, but play it carefully because it remembers everything you do. The beauty of South Park: The Stick of Truth is that it looks and sounds just like an episode of the famous show, likely as a result of the intimate involvement of its two creators. Still, the fact that it's an RPG makes it even better. The Stick of Truth was a major surprise, not only because it's so funny and so well executed, but because it's incredibly fun to play, too. Sony's Resistance franchise has largely flown under the radar to most people that didn't own a PlayStation 3, but many PS3 owners know that it's one of the greatest story-driven shooters of all time. And the final edition in the PS3 trilogy, Resistance 3, is the best of them all. Set in the post-apocalyptic United States after an alien invasion, Resistance 3 does a wonderful job of telling its story, with the alien Chimera providing for a compelling foil. Who knew that a game revolving around being a flower petal could be so damn good? That game company's Flower has a powerful message behind it, one invoking the plight of human pollution and the unfortunate altering of nature as a result. But in truth, Flower is simply a tranquil and unique experience that everyone should give a go, even if it does require motion control. Adventure games were never a huge hit on console, at least until Telltale's The Walking Dead rolled around and reminded everyone that one of gaming's oldest genres still has plenty of fuel in the tank. Taking place concurrent to the events of the show and graphic novels, The Walking Dead the game's choice-heavy 5-episode arc is as emotional as it is frightening. Prepare to die. That's Dark Souls' official tagline, and it provides ample warning to players who walk into the experience unaware. That's because Dark Souls' pedigree is that of being brutally difficult and unforgiving. But those that exude patience and learn what it's all about will also find that Dark Souls is one of PS3's best and most rewarding games. It's not every day that open-world games collide with the first-person shooter genre, but Far Cry 3 begs the question why it doesn't happen more often. Set on a desolate tropical island packed to the brim with gun-toting thugs, you're charged with rescuing your friends, causing some havoc, and getting away in one piece. Few PS3 games are as immersive and enjoyable as this. As an early PlayStation Network exclusive title, Super Stardust HD went a long way to prove the viability of PSN, especially in light of Xbox Live's early successes. But Stardust also happens to be an incredibly enjoyable game on its own, a unique arcade romp with one hook and one hook only, bettering your high score so that you can destroy your friends on the leaderboards. Sony likes to experiment with new IP, and out of all of the PlayStation exclusive franchises that premiered on PS3, Infamous is easily one of the most successful and beloved. Infamous 2 bested the original in every way, expanding on the protagonist, building upon his superpowers, and placing everything in a believable facsimile of New Orleans. It's one of the great superhero games of all time. Video games like to deal with the same subjects over and over again: war, destruction, and jumping on helpless turtles' backs. That's why Catherine was so refreshing. It's a puzzle game, but its story revolved around something you don't hear about every day in games: infidelity. For its subject matter alone, Catherine is an absolute must-play. At this point, it's a bit cliche to talk about how bad licensed games used to be, but it's true, and frankly, most of them still aren't up to snuff. Developer Rocksteady, for its part, managed to buck the trend with its Batman games, and Arkham City is the best of them all. With a wide-open metropolis to explore, plenty of notable villains to defeat, and a ton of upgrades to acquire, Arkham City is truly exceptional. The JRPG genre has seen its struggles, especially in the last 10 years, as many would argue that they've largely fallen off a cliff. Ni no Kuni is so amazing because it gets back to the heart of what makes the genre so special. all the while toting exceptional graphics and a heart-touching story. Ni no Kuni is PS3's best JRPG by a long shot, and you owe it to yourself to find out why. When people talk about puzzle games, they do so somewhat nebulously, because each has its own unique hook. The hook at the heart of Portal 2 might be the most unique of them all, tasking players to spawn wormholes that allow them to quickly navigate around various rooms in mind-bending ways. Portal 2 was and is a revolution in the puzzle genre. Many open-world games can only hope to be as good as Bethesda's Fallout 3, a revolutionary Western RPG. Fallout 3 takes place in the capital wasteland, the remnants of Washington, D.C. in a future darkly molded after a nuclear apocalypse. And its awe-inspiring, non-linear, take-it-as-it-comes exploration is a feat in and of itself. All three Mass Effect games are awesome, so we decided to combine them into one package, since PlayStation 3 owners can now have them all in a single collection, front to back. Set in the future in space, when humanity is the new kid on the block amongst a group of well-acquainted alien species, Mass Effect cares about the choices you make, all the while spinning a riveting story of galactic consequence. Rockstar's pedigree is well established, and Grand Theft Auto V is proof that the pedigree is also well deserved. Set in a fictional Southern California city oozing with realism, GTA V is the ultimate sandbox. Go forward with the main campaign at your leisure, or waste hours driving around harassing the citizenry of the city and seeing every nook and cranny. Grand Theft Auto V is downright impressive, if not wholly addictive. Games don't often take a step into the big W Western genre, but Rockstar's Red Dead Redemption did so with confidence and gusto. The results floored players around the world who lived John Marston's tale of criminality and intrigue as if they were the main character themselves. With rock-solid mechanics and a beautifully realized world, Red Dead Redemption isn't only one of PS3's best games, it's also begging for a sequel. BioShock may look like a shooter, and it may even play like one a little bit, but in reality it's much more than an FPS. It's a game heavy on exploration and horror, as players move around the underwater city of Rapture. It's an edge-of-your-seat experience, one that relies a great deal on plot, and it's the very best game on PS3 that isn't exclusive to the PlayStation ecosystem. Uncharted 2 was a nearly impossible game to follow up on, but with Uncharted 3: Drake's Deception, developer Naughty Dog delivered an amazing game that stands up to its beloved predecessor. Putting players back into the role of adventurer Nathan Drake, Uncharted 3 gives us a new look at the sometimes misunderstood protagonist, with all of the explosions, set pieces, and mystery you could possibly want. Widely considered to be the best game in the esteemed Uncharted trilogy, Uncharted 2 among these was such an amazing step up from the original in just about every way. Its graphics, its characters, its storytelling, and its gameplay push the absolute bounds of the PlayStation 3's capabilities. Among Thieves holds a special place in PlayStation gamers' hearts for very good reason. That game company outdid itself with Journey, IGN's 2012 Game of the Year, and proof that games can be emotionally riveting even if you don't quite understand why. At only a couple of hours long, Journey can be played once and fully understood on your own terms, and its unique brand of multiplayer simply heightens that already heart-wrenching experience. The Last of Us isn't only the best PlayStation exclusive game released during the PS3 era, it's also the best game on PlayStation 3, period. Naughty Dog followed up its Uncharted trilogy on the console with something even better, a grueling adventure that revolves around a sort of father-daughter relationship. It's as emotional as it is beautiful, and it's a title that every single gamer out there should play. There's our list, but what's yours? Let us know what your top 25 PS3 games are, and then take a look at our other top 25 lists, spanning Sony's, Nintendo's, and Microsoft's platforms, as well as PC.